everyone! Today I'll be doing some Sanrio Gijinka. It's not the first time I'm doing this type of video, but it's been quite a while since I've done one, and my style has changed a little bit as well, so I decided that I wanted to redo the whole series. So to decide which characters to draw in the first installment, I ended up asking you all in a community post which were your favorite Sanrio mascots. I'm open to do more parts of this series, so feel free to tell me your favorite Sanrio characters in the comments. And now, without further ado, let's get to it. Let's start our video with a still very popular character, but not exactly popular enough to be considered super mainstream, Usahana. Usahana is a colorful little rabbit girl that loves summer. Her design is incredibly sweet, I love how colorful she is, and she almost gives me patchwork vibes. I'd love to see a Usahana doll made entirely out of patchwork fabrics. That would be so cute. She's so colorful that I think the fandom unanimously considers this bunny a Decora-K fashion icon, and I find that a lot of the Decora-K people end up having Usahana as their favorite Sanrio mascot. Decora-K, for those who don't know, is a fashion trend most popular in Harajuku, Japan. It's a very colorful, in-your-face, maximalist fashion where you decorate yourself to the max. Its main inspiration was the idol Tomoe Shinohara. It's overall a really fun aesthetic. When I was designing her, I also took into consideration Usahana's interests and hobbies. For example, she dreams of being a ballerina, so I put her in a frilly and puffy skirt similar to a tutu. She loves to collect earrings, so I gave her multiple piercings. I ended up taking inspiration in Decora looks, of course, but she also ended up giving me very strong pixie lock vibes. Pixie Locks, for those who don't know, is a fashion/mental health influencer here on YouTube, and if you look them up, I'm pretty sure you'll understand what I mean. Usahana gave me the vibes of a pretty energetic and extroverted character, so I ended up drawing her in a very open, almost idol-like pose. She turned out really cute. Next up we have Kuromi. Kuromi is a much more beloved character, especially considering that she actually took the 3rd place this year in Sanrio's annual character ranking. And I can totally see why. Both her personality and aesthetic are pretty distinctive from the other main mascots. Pastel goth plus a headstrong and sometimes mischievous personality is an incredible combination. I also really like Kuromi. In fact, I actually own a Kuromi figurine, and it was one of my first Sanrio figures. It came in a blind box, and the collection was called Lucky Divination, I believe. Kuromi is also paired up with My Melody, since they are from the same core story, and they work as opposites to one another. They often appear together in merchandise. I had actually already made a Kuromi Gijinka, but since she was suggested so much, I was happy to redesign her. This time I took inspiration in gothic Lolita fashion as well as pastel goth, since Sanrio seems to like using those aesthetics when giving Kuromi outfits. My Lucky Divination Kuromi is a perfect example of that. This time I also took care to not forget that Kuromi's design is also based on gestures, and so I ended up giving her face paint as well as using her frills and pom-poms more often. I also gave her a tooth cap, since to me it's such an endearing trait and conveys a lot of character. Her expression was pretty fun to draw. I tried my best to convey her mischievous personality, and I think I did pretty well. I usually need references when drawing this particular expression, but for some reason Kuromi's came out naturally. She was super duper fun. Next up, we have a character that only 2 or 3 people suggested, but the fact that this character exists intrigued me so much that I simply had to draw him. His name is Big Challenges, and he debuted in the 70s. He was used once and then never again until 45 years later when he appeared in a Hello Kitty and Friends phone game, where he is described as a silly and mysterious alligator that disappeared a long time ago waiting to be discovered by adventurers. Not much is known about him. It's really hard to put into words just how much this intrigued me. Why did they use him just once? And why did they wait 45 years to pick him back up? And what is up with his backstory? Why is he so secretive? The fact that there's so little known about him made me want to draw him, but it also made my job a lot harder than it usually is. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with him. Eventually, I came up with the idea of this silly looking guy that looks really dumb and acts kinda dumb, but has these flashes, these sporadic moments where he just says the wildest and deepest stuff, like he has the entire universe figured out, like he is an interdimensional being with all the knowledge in the world, but it's still really silly because it's just fun to be. It was also pretty fun, even though it was harder to understand him as a character, especially because my idea of him is definitely incorrect. I don't think Sanrio would ever go that far with a character's backstory. Still, it was really fun to come up with a character interpretation of my own. And finally, we have our popular boy, Cinamaroll. When I was deciding which character to do last, I made a poll in my community tab to see which one you'd want to see the most. And Cinamaroll won by a substantial margin. By the way, I do this pretty often, so feel free to keep an eye on the community tab if you want to participate in the next polls. I was not surprised Cinamaroll won, because go figure, this guy has been winning the Sanrio's annual ranking for a few years straight, including this one. This guy is popular. And I really can't blame them. This guy is tied with Pom Pom Purin as my favorite as well. I love this guy just as much. Cinamaroll is often mistaken for a rabbit, but he is in fact a dog, and his standout traits are his adorably curled tail and his long white ears that are sometimes used as a way for Cinamaroll to fly, Dumbo style. He's adorable and I love him. So when I was designing a human Cinamaroll, I wanted to draw him eating a Cinamaroll, with extra icing because this little guy deserves it. And his fashion sense is just simple kawaii aesthetic. I gave him a shirt with pink frills, and a very big and loose sweater with big pink bows on top. His hair is definitely the thing I like the most in his design, since it's cropped in the back and really long in the front to allude to the shape of Cinamaroll's ears in the original design. Since Cinamaroll seems to be my audience's favorite, I'm really curious to know what you guys think of my take. And with that, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you liked the video. If you wanna see more stuff from me, I'm also on Instagram and Twitter at momopurin_chan and on Kara at momopurin. Thank you so much, and until next time, bye!